party. Pizza party, that is. Week 8, we have a cookie baking and decorating kit in pizza. Also, don't forget to tag and share us in all your videos and pictures because I want to see your cool pizzas. Let's pizza. Let's take a look inside what comes in our pizza box. We have some parchment paper for baking, our packet of sugar, our flour. We have a little water cup for you, some nice butter, vanilla, 2 eggs and some extra flour for rolling. Have our knife for decorating, some shredded parm sprinkles, our yellow cheese buttercream, our red sauce buttercream. We have some pepperoni, some peppers, mushrooms, and we have our cake board stencil to cut the pizza out. In your kit, you're also going to find our recipe card that we made for you. It has all the instructions you're going to need for this dough. We do have to make this ahead of time. It has to sit in your fridge for an hour. You can also make it a day before. That way it's nice and hard and you can just roll it out and decorate it that day. So for your butter, it does have to be nice and soft. You need it at room temperature. Nice and squishy. Look at that squishiness. So once your butter is nice and room temperature, we're going to plop it in the bowl. And if it's not at room temperature, you can put it in the microwave for about 5-second intervals until it comes nice and squishy. So with our butter, we're gonna add all of our sugar. We're gonna take our mixing spoon and you're gonna mix the butter and the sugar together. This might take a little bit. Baking is dirty. I'm gonna use my hands. There we go. Hold it in there. Squish it. Squish that butter. Fold all the sugar into the butter. Nice and in there. You want all the sugar to be incorporated. Clean my utensils off. Okay, we're almost there, guys. A little bit more. There we go. Our little patty of sugar and butter. Clean my hands. I'm gonna go wash. Next, we're gonna add our eggs. So you need 1 whole egg. Crack that in there. And then we need 1 yolk. So you're gonna need a separate bowl to separate the egg and the yolk. So we're gonna crack the white into a separate container. And you're just gonna use the eggshell to get rid of the white. And you can save that for later. Have a nice egg white omelet in the morning. We'll set that aside. And then we're also gonna add our vanilla. Pour it in there. There we go. I'm gonna use my spoon for this part. And we're gonna mix in the eggs and the vanilla in with the sugar and the butter. So they're all incorporated. Mixer at home, you can do this in a mixer, but I'm showing you like this because not everyone has a mixer, and that's okay. You can still make some delicious cookies without a mixer. It's gonna take a little more elbow grease. fun part. So you're gonna mix this until all the flour has been incorporated with that egg and butter and sugar mixture. It's okay, just put it back in there. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to start using my hands. It's going to be a little bit easier for me. Don't be afraid to get dirty. Just going to mix the dough. Definitely one of the more messier recipes in here. But it makes it fun. Alright, so we're getting close. Very close, very sticky. Very sticky. Alright, so I think this is looking pretty good. Looking like some dough. I'm gonna clean my hands off. We're gonna form this dough into a patty. Time. I'm all clean. I went and got myself a piece of saran wrap all nice and set out for me. We're going to form our patty of our dough. I'm going to take the dough, make it all little pieces in there. You're just going to form it into a little ball. And then you're going to form it into a patty. Just like so. And then plop it on. We're going to wrap it and we're going to stick it in the fridge for an hour. And then we'll be back to bake. So we're about ready to start rolling our pizza dough. I went to go check on it and it's a little bit too hard, so I'm going to leave it out for about 10 minutes. You don't want it rock hard, but you also don't want it soft and mushy. You want to have that nice perfect consistency where it's really easy to roll out. So in the meantime, we're going to go preheat our oven and get ready to bake. We need to preheat our ovens. This does require parental supervision. Kids, get your moms and dads to help you out with the oven. If you have a convection oven like we do, you're going to turn it on and set it to 275. If you have a convention oven, which most households do, you're going to put it at 325. So my pizza dough is definitely ready to roll out now. You see it's still a little bit firm, but it's not as firm as it was. It's not super mushy. So we're going to unroll this. You want a nice clean surface to roll out your dough. I have my stencil ready over here. And I have my extra flour. We're going to put a nice amount of flour on the surface. Take our dough, put a little bit more flour on the top. Alright, and now I'm going to be rolling my pizza dough out with my can of corn. But if you do have a rolling pin at home, I think it's definitely easier to use that, but if you don't, then you can just grab a can of beans, of corn, anything you want. So you always want to start out with the shape that you're trying to roll it into. So we're going to start with a circle because pizzas are generally a circle. So we're just going to roll out our can and I'm going to that circular shape. Like always turning it. A couple degrees and then roll it and then turn it. So it's turn and roll, turn and roll. Just want to make sure your edges are even. Try and keep a nice circular shape. Just make sure it's not sticking to your surface, and if it is, just put a little more flour down. So we're going to be rolling this out, not too thin, but definitely a little bit thinner than this. Sorry, Zoe. Getting close, guys. The edges are a little too thick. I'm going to take my stencil, just kind of size it up. We're about there. It's just a little uneven still, so I'm just going to roll out a little bit more on the places that aren't even. You can just feel your dough, and you kind of feel where it's raised and where it's a little bit shorter, and that's the places that you're going to roll out. A little bit more over here. Done this before. Okay, I'm happy with this thickness. So I'm not very good at measuring, but this is about like how thick you're gonna want it.
1/4 inch.
That's a 1/4 inch-ish. There you go. You're gonna want a 1/4 inch. So now we're gonna take our handy dandy stencil. We're gonna take our butter knife and we're just gonna cut around pizza. Just gonna keep your hand on your stencil so it doesn't move. And you're just gonna cut out a giant circle. Alright, so there's the start of our pizza. Now we're going to take some leftover scraps and we're going to make our pizza crust. So I'm just going to knead this back together, which you're just going to be folding over one half to the other half until it comes back together. You don't want to roll it too much because you don't want it to get too sticky. So I'm going to put my circle to the side for a little bit. Get a little bit more flour on the surface. We're going to roll this out into a log. This is going to create our pizza crust. Now all pizza crust, it's not, the same size and width and stuff, so if it's a little chunkier in one end and shorter on the other ends or skinnier, that's totally fine. Crust, a little bit thinner, it's a little too thick. You don't want it too thick because then it's not going to bake all the way through. Also, that is very important. You do not want a giant thick crust. This is our little snake. It's going to be our pizza crust. We'll bring our pizza back. I have my little cup of water that I filled. Just use my finger. I'm going to run some water around the edge of the pizza where it's going to meet the crust so it can stick. Alright. roll some out later. Extra pizza slices. Now we're gonna take our knife and we're gonna cut it like a pizza. So first you're gonna cut it in half. You need to have a little flour on your knife so it doesn't stick. Cut the pizza in half. Take my halves. We're gonna cut that in half. Our 4 slices in half again. These are little cookie pieces of this. That is so cool. I have my baking sheet over here already with my parchment paper on. So I'm going to put my pizza slices on. Cut out the rest of my pizza slices now. They do need a little bit of room to spread, but they don't need much. They're not going to spread a ton. Leftover dough, I can roll it out a little bit more and we can get some extra pizza slices. Extra piece. Who doesn't like extra piece? Put some more flour on your surface. I'm going to put it back in the ball. And then you're actually going to make it into a half moon shape. Only be able to get 2 baby pizza slices, but that's okay. They can be cute. I'm just gonna use my hand. I don't think I'm gonna need my roller that much. I'm just gonna use my hand. It's pretty squishy. Let's pat it out. All right. For these, we're going to put a little bit of water under here, and then we're going to roll over the crust. It's a little bit different than our other pizza. So you're going to take your crust, and you're just going to roll it over, just like that. There you go. Just taking it and rolling it over. Like a baby pizza. Alright, I'm gonna cut him up too. Actually, I'm gonna do 3 slices, 3 baby slices. We're gonna put these on another sheet pan, and now we're gonna go bake them. So we're gonna pop our pizza slices in the oven. Be careful, parental supervision always required when using an oven. Put our few slices in. And our little baby slices. And I'm going to start them off at 6 minutes. Then we're going to check them and then rotate them. Happy New Year! Woo! Buzzing, it's time to check in our cookies. We're going to have to rotate them 180 degrees. Open our oven. 2 hot orders. Check on our cookies. They're looking good. They look like little pizzas. Just going to rotate. Take our tiny pizzas. Rotate them. Put them back in there for another 6 minutes. check our cookies. Alright, they're looking good. We do want them to be a little bit more golden brown than they are now. They're still a little bit pale. So we're going to shove them in for a couple more minutes. Say about 3 minutes. I think our cookies are ready. Check them out. Yes. That is it. Alright. These are getting nice and golden brown around the edges. So we're going to take them out. Take a little puppy out. Right. That from the oven. It doesn't fit there. Always remember to turn your oven off after you're done using it. So while our cookies are cooling, Zoe's going to tell me some cool jokes.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What do librarians take with them when they go fishing?
Their shusher.
Bookworms?
Bookworms! Oh, that's so cute.
What happened when the teacher tied all the kids' shoelaces together?
They all fell into a knot.
Close. They had a class trip.
Oh, I should have saw that.
What's the difference between a train and a teacher?
I don't know. What?
The teacher says, spit your gum out. The train says, chew, chew.
No!
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Broken pencil.
Broken pencil who?
Oh, never mind. It's pointless.
So our pizzas have cooled and they have a beautiful brown edging, a nice little crust, and they are ready for decoration. So we're going to start with our red buttercream, which is our sauce. And I'm going to cut like a medium-sized hole. That'll be perfect. About that big. So it's totally up to you how saucy or unsaucy you would like your pizza. You kind of just have fun with it. You can make them white pizzas with no sauce. You can make them the sauciest pizzas you've ever seen. You can just do each one different. That's the fun about decorating them. You have so many, you do so many choices. So for this one, I'm gonna do, I think, a moderate amount of sauce. And like all my cookie decorating videos that we've done so far, we outline it first and then we go back in and flatten it out. But they don't need to be perfect because they're gonna get cheese on top, they're gonna get toppings like that. That's great. So I'm gonna come in with my cheese. I'm gonna cut about the same size hole. It's about that big. So I like oozy cheese on my pizza. So I'm gonna make it like come down the sides, oozing off, falling off the pizza. So just kind of, with the buttercream bag, you're just gonna let it go down on the side of the pizza, and then wherever you think the cheese should go, because that's where the cheese should go. This is gonna be pretty cheesy. I love cheese. I love all the cheese all the time. And I love cheese pizza. So we're just gonna kind of straighten this out a little bit. That looks beautiful. So I'm gonna put some shredded parm on here, but before I do that, I'm actually gonna put some pepperonis because I do love a good pepperoni pizza too. So I'm gonna cut just a small hole, and then I'm just gonna make little circles, little pepperoni circles. Ooh, they're so cute. Look at those little pepperoni guys. Oh. Small little pepperoni circles. And then for this one, I'm just gonna top it off with some sweet cheese, a little parm. And that's my first pizza slice. With my second pizza. So I'm just gonna start with the outline of the cookie. Just going around the top, This one's gonna get a little more sauce than my first cookie. I'm just gonna fill in my sauce. You notice I'm not really filling it up with buttercream because it's gonna get a cheese layer, it's gonna get the topping layer. It doesn't need a whole bunch of buttercream on top, but if you love a whole bunch of buttercream, then go for it. Put all the sauce and cheese you want on there. Alright, this could be my sauce layer. I'm gonna go in with my cheese. I think I'm gonna do this one a little bit less cheesy than my other one. It's like just enough cheese. I'm gonna go in with my clean knife, my wet towel. I'm just gonna smooth out my cheese. And it's kind of fun that it's not all smooth because it gives it a cool texture. Nice swirly, twirly, cheesy texture. This one, I'm gonna do some veggies. I do love me a good veggie pizza too. I mean, I don't know. Every pizza is great, I feel like. Who doesn't love pizza? So for the peppers, I'm going to do a very small hole. And we're gonna kind of make, it's like not a clover, but kind of like a little blob.
It's like a fidget spinner.
A fidget spinner! Yes, it does look like a fidget spinner. So you're gonna make fidget spinner peppers on your pizza. So we're just gonna make little veggies all over here. And I'm not pushing very hard on my buttercream. It's just very light pressure that I'm putting on it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Everyone's pizza is gonna look different. And that is the beauty of pizza. So I'm gonna go in. You guys might not like this topping as much as I do, but it's great. It's a mushroom. I'm a mushroom lover. So I'm gonna make the hole just slightly bigger. And we're gonna start with the stem of the mushroom. And then we're gonna make a half moon shape for the top. So we have our cute little mushroom. And then just gonna fill them in. Make all the mushrooms. Super veggie pizza. You can make them go in any which way you want. They could be on top, underneath, all the veggies. I'm actually gonna put one more pepper right here. And there is my veggie pizza slice. It's my third pizza slice. I'm just gonna make this cheesy pizza. It's gonna be plain cheese, the OG pizza. OG means original, if you guys don't know that. It's a cool way of saying original. I'm cool. Oh. Alright, so we're gonna sauce it up. Take my clean knife. We're gonna smooth out our sauce. Just like that. Again, I'm using my left hand to keep my cookie straight while I'm icing. Because if not, your cookie is just gonna flail. Look at that, it's just flailing everywhere. How are you ever gonna get smooth sauce like that? You're just not. Alright. There's my sauce. Now since this is plain cheese, we're gonna really cheese it up. This is gonna be the cheesiest of the pizza slices. It's like so much cheese. Oh my goodness. That is a lot of cheese. I'm gonna come in with my knife. cheese. Oh yeah, that is a cheesy pizza. And of course, you can't forget the shredded parm sprinkles. Oh yeah. Oh yes. That is my plain cheese slice. So for my fourth pizza slice design, I'm gonna do an everything pizza. It's gonna have cheese, sauce, veggies, pepperonis, parm, all the works. It's like all of our other cookies, starting with the outline, and then filling in our sauce. Clean knife. And we're gonna smooth out the sauce. With our cheese, we make it ooze down the sides. That's what makes it look like it's real cheese. And we got on the front too. Why not? Take my clean butter knife and swirl around my cheese. So I'm gonna add some pepperonis. Like we did before, we're just gonna do small little circles. You can make these pepperonis as big or as little as you want. Make mine kind of medium pepperonis. I'm going counterclockwise with my pepperoni swirl. And that's gonna create a real even circle. So maybe there's one down there. Come in with my mushrooms and just fill in some gaps. I'm going to start with my peppers now, like little fidget spinners. I've never had one of those before, but I'm sure many of you have. They looked fun. Why not? Just do our little fidget spinner pepper shape. I'm actually going to go and add a little bit more mushrooms to this because it's an everything pizza. It needs a lot of stuff on it. Alright, and now for the final touch, I'm going to add our shredded parm sprinkles all over. That is going to be my everything pizza slice. It's not delivery. It's 2 Fat Cookies pizza decorating kit. I hope you guys made a whole bunch of different kinds of pizzas. We gave you so many different buttercreams, and they look exactly like pizza. So I'm going to go and take a little bite-to-poo. Very busy.